Hello and welcome to Relax with Watercolour. My name is Harry Feeney. In today's programme we're in Donegal and I'm going to do a painting of a little place called Inch Island, and actually it's Inch Lake. And Inch Island has got two sea walls. One has a road on it and the other one is used to repel the sea on the Lough Swilly side. Both sides are on Lough Swilly. Now the train used to run across there, but today I'm just going to do the sea wall, a little bit of water on the lake and a little bit of an island jutting out and a few little posts. And just a tip for you while you're painting, only put out the colours that you need to use. So for the sky colours for this is ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson. You get your sky in first and then you start using those colours then for your different backgrounds, etc. So first of all, I'm just going to wet our paper. So again, just water 2/3 of the way down, like that. The horizon line doesn't have to be straight because we're putting in a wall, so that's going to be, that has trees on it and all sorts of stuff. It's a sea wall. It could be 30 or 40 feet thick. So it's not like it's a brick wall or anything like that. People walk across. It's nice to go for a walk. So again, plenty of water. By the way, if you want any of these paintings from the series that you think it might help your organization to raise some money, I know that in the last series quite a lot of organizations did take a painting and they raised a substantial amount of money from various charities. So again, for this series, if you would like one of the paintings, please write to me on headed paper, just from whatever charity it is, and if we can, we would be very happy to give you one of our paintings. The first colour is the ultramarine blue. I'm just mixing that like that. I'm just going to put that in on its own for the moment. So I'm putting a little bit up here. And I like to get the corners in like that and then put a little shot across there. Now, as we come down, I'm now going to add in a little touch of alizarin crimson. And that colour there will give me more distance into my painting. So just a little bit like that. You need plenty of white areas as well. Now, I'm just going to rise this like this and just let that paint now do its thing. It's going to run along there and mix together. I'm just going to turn it like this now. Here we are. That's going to come down onto the horizon. And then I'm just going to move that way. That'll give me a little bit of a horizon line running along. Just turn this back up again. I'll just let that go down here like this just to dry off, which I will do now. Now I'm just going to move my paper block over to my easel like this. But first of all, I want to put in a distant little headland there. So all I'm using is a little touch of the ultramarine blue and a slight touch of alizarin. I just want a very distant tone here, not too much. I'm just going to set it back there, just like that there. That's just going to give me a bit of depth before I put in my seawall. Inch Island is in Lough Swilly, and one of the interesting points of Inch Lake is that it has a great run of sea trout. Not as good as it was years ago, but a lot of fishermen from Donegal and Derry would go there to fish on a regular basis. So now I'm going to continue on with my seawall here, And my colours, this time I'm just going to add in a little touch of indigo and a little bit of yellow ochre. I want my seawall to be dark. Now again, my brush is going to be one of my foliage brushes. A little bit of indigo and the yellow ochre. Two great colours. I'm going to pull in a little bit of blue. Now by the way, about mixing paint, if you have to mix 3 colours, only ever mix 2 colours at any one time. So I'm mixing the indigo and the yellow ochre. I mix those 2 and I get 1. And then I add in my ultramarine blue, so I'm still only mixing 2 colours. If you mix the 3 together, it's going to get muddy. So mix 2 and add 1. Now, here, I'm just going to start in the middle. I'm going to push this over. I don't want it even, I don't want it straight. I'm trying to get that sort of brokenness like this here. There's going to be bushes, shrubs, all sorts of things going and happening here. And I don't want it to be too deep either, because I want to try and give the impression that it's far away, it's distant. I'm just taking some water and I'm just adding it to the mix. I'm just going to pull it down just about there. As I said, I don't want it too deep. Just pull that down like that. And I'm going to put in little bushes, trees and all of that. This is the seawall here, and the far side then would be the Loch Swilly. This wall would be keeping out the main body of water. That's it there. Now I'm just going to add in a few little trees and shrubs into that. And all I do is just take my brush and I just push that up into it like this, just here and there along, giving the impression of trees, shrubs, foliage, bushes, whatever else you have. You can even push it up over here. It just gives that a tree effect. Like that. So all that wall there would be a lot of foliage, trees, bushes, shrubs. I'm going to add a little bit of blue, come back to our sky colours again, because what you're actually doing is you're reflecting your sky into the water. Now, I'm going to try and get that in there. I made a little boo-boo there, but I'll fix that in a minute. I'll put a little seagull there or something. Now, I go straight across like that. Once you start that movement, don't stop, keep it going. And here again, get that in there. There we go. So you want that sparkle there. That's very important. And these brushes are great for doing that. Now, anybody that wants the brushes, by the way, you can look at the Relax with Watercolour website. And there's brushes on it. My new book, Watercolour Made Easy, on the Relax with Watercolour series. And other various bits and pieces like DVDs and stuff like that. Now, that's my water in there. Now, I'm going to put in a little bit of land here now, and I'll put up a few little bits of foliage from that. I want to get an area here that I can use for my my shrubs and my foliage, and then I'm going to put in my few little posts, sort of stepping out the tallest one here and maybe stepping back into the water. So first of all, I'm taking my foliage brush again, and it's the same colours, the indigo, yellow ochre. Taking the yellow ochre first, a little bit of indigo then, so I'm mixing those two. Get that tone right first. I think I might be happier with a little bit darker, so just a little bit of ultramarine blue into that. Now, again, I'm going to start off with a base, so I'm just going to push these up like this. There'll be a lot of reeds and stuff like that there, so Start off going into the water like that, and then just bring that back there, like this. That's my starting point. A little bit more there like that. Push it up a few more of those. Now, I'm going to get a tree in here now. This little spot, and I'll be able to cover that fella up now with my tree. I know I said I'd put a seagull there, but the seagull flew away. So I'll just put a tree in instead. Now, the rigger brush. Now, this brush here has long hairs on it like that. And it's a fantastic brush for doing shrubs, foliage and things like that. So you'll see now when I go to use it, what you do is you put it onto the paper and bend it back like this. And then you can walk it up like this. And if you have a little bit of a shake in your hand, it's even better because you'll get all sorts of nice movements with it like that. Now, I'm going to line it up there now to get rid of my little discovery that I made here, just there. It just worked in very nicely there now. So I'm going to bring that down here. And one thing about trees, you've got to make sure that the tree trunk can withstand and hold all the branches you're going to put on it. There's not much point in putting loads of branches on a tree and it doesn't look like it's going to fall over. So I'm just strengthening my tree, make it a little bit wider here, like that. Now, I'll add in a few more little branches and twigs now like this. There we are. The more branches and twigs and bushes you put in, the more foliage you have to add to it. So try and be a little bit more reserved in your judgment, because the more you put in, the more and more work you're going to have to do. So try and make your brush strokes count. I'm going to open up the bottom of my tree trunk a little bit more so that it's going to stand up to the elements like that. Reasonably happy with that tree. And welcome back to the program. And this section we have Harry's helpful hints. And we're going to start off, I'm going to draw some posts with a little bit of reflection and a little bit of highlight on them. And I'll do this here and then we'll put them into our painting. So I'm going to start off, take my post, the outside post first. That's going to be the biggest one. So that goes in like this. Like that. There's no reflection on that one. That's sort of coming in at the side. And then my next post then will be here, just about here. Now this is going to be smaller. It'll have a reflection in the water. So we'll stop that one around about there. Make it a little bit longer. My next one will be here. Now they get smaller as they go away from you, like this. And then my fourth one, which will be the smallest one, just there like that. Now we've got to reflect all of that, and we'll just put our reflections into the water now from the posts. So we start off here and just nice and gently push that back. Try not to get a mirror image of the post, you know, because it's a reflection. You can actually just little bits like that there, just make it look good. And our third post, like this. Doesn't matter if you make little misses like that, that's okay as well. Now I want to get some highlights in there. So I'm taking this acrylic paint and I'm just using the bottom of a tube of paint, and all I'm doing is I'm pushing the paint up like this and I'm just running that across there like that, you're basically just trying to get some paint onto that edge, and then just touch it there like that, and that's all you need. And then the next one there, and my next one then, here we go, just down like that, and finally here. And you can put a little bit of that then into the water also, just a little touch here and there. You don't need to put in too much, you're only just giving the impression. Now we'll just put in our highlights here, and now we'll put this into our painting. Now I'm going to add a little bit of colour to it. So my first brush now, this other foliage brush, this is the round version of the foliage brush. I like to open that up first by pushing it against the palm of my hand like that, and that opens it right out like this. So I can now, once that settles back in, it allows me then, if I just go into the yellow ochre on its own, and if I go in here and I just put a few little brush strokes like that, that opens it right up, and you can see that it puts the foliage in very well. Now that's just the first colour. So what I'll do with that then, I can go into my main body of colour that we used earlier on, back in there, and you get a different effect like that. And that looks pretty good. I'm just going to continue on with that theme. I'm just going to, over those branches there. I know it's going to sound silly, but only put leaves where there's branches. There we go, just here as well. A little bit here, bring it down just to look like it's sitting into the water. And then trees always have a habit of putting seeds around where they are, so I'm just going to put a little bit here. I'm going to add in a little bit more tone. So I'll take some more indigo. I'm going to make that a little bit darker. It's a little bit pale, I think. So actually, I'm going to add in some yellow, because yellow is one of my favorite colors. And the indigo and the yellow, they make a fantastic color. I'll just show you that now. Just mix it over here. Now, there we go. That's a lovely color there. I just want to get that down here and up around. Just need a slight touch of water on that. You should always try and paint with an inky consistency, but when you're doing leaves and stuff like that, it's always a good idea to have them a little bit thicker, because it settles the paint better. Tidy that up there like that, push a few of those up, little reeds, bushes, foliage. Just take some more of the yellow ochre, set it in there against the tree, so you have a bit of variation. And I'm going to brighten up this area here. We don't want those too many dark tones here either. So again, I'm taking my flat brush that I use for the foliage, and I'm going to go into just the yellow on its own. There's enough water on the brush, and just push that up like this. Get those nice green colours like that. It's more realistic looking. There we are. I remember in my school days, when I was young, come down here to this island to fish into Inch Lake. Never caught very much, but it was always a big adventure. Going down on a Loch Swilly bus to inch, getting out and walking along and going fishing. It was a great time, a long time ago. Now, people I used to fish with then, I'm still friends with them today, so they're all my friends. We're 30, 40 years we've known each other, and we still go fishing together. Now those colours there, that brightens up that corner. And as I said, if you would like one of these paintings for your charity, by all means, just write to me on headed paper. Now, I want to get some posts in here now. So I'm taking my detail brush. I'm taking some indigo, yellow ochre, and I'm adding in a little bit of ultramarine blue. Now the first post I want to get in will be big here, and then as we work in, they get smaller and smaller and smaller. So the first one, I'm going to actually take it out of the picture like this, like that. Just make it a little bit bigger. That's my first post. And then I'm going to add in my second one. Now this one is going to be just on the sea wall at the top, but as it comes in, it'll stop just about there, which will allow me to put in a reflection like that. Post number 3. I'm just going to, again, they get smaller. And then post number 4, the same. Now, yeah, during the summer there will be a lot of flooding and stuff like that. So I'm just recreating something like that, which would have been a field before. So we have that flooding. So those 4 posts. Now I'm going to reflect 3 of them into the water, and then I'm going to highlight them. So for reflections, just taking my tone and make sure the reflection touches, make sure it touches the post like that, and then bring it down like this, like that. Same for this one. And then number 3, like that. Now, I want to highlight those. So I'm taking my, this is acrylic. Now you wouldn't normally associate acrylic with watercolor, but I find that gouache and Chinese white that is associated with watercolor, they don't give you the proper density for what I want this for. So all I'm doing is I'm just taking the bottom of my paint tube and I'm just pushing that across the top of the paint like that. All I want is that paint just to touch that post. So I put it here. Just a little highlight there. And again here. That's better. And this another one here. It doesn't take very much, as you can see, just a little bit. It just gives an impression, and that's all we want. A little bit here. There we are. And again, you can reflect that into the water, taking the corner of the tube, and just by putting a little bit in. just here and there like that. You're just picking up those little bits of highlight. There we are. Now, that's it for today. That's Inch Lake on Inch Island in Donegal. And this is Harry Feeney, Relax with Watercolour. Until next time.